All right. I don't know what I'm gonna eventually title this video, but one thing is for certain is that I'm tired of being tired, right? I'm done being stuck in these loops that leave me feeling like I'm getting nowhere in life. I'm done wasting my time every day to the habits I curse myself for participating in, and I'm just done in general. And after doing a lot of the internal work, I've come to realize that I'm not suicidal and I want better for myself, but when the time comes to be better, I never feel ready. I'm gonna leave timestamps so I could kind of stay organized, but I wrote 12 pages at 11-point font over the course of the last couple months. But first, I feel like it's important for me to elaborate on my feelings. I have been experiencing chronic exhaustion that sleep just never seems to fix for the past couple years. And at first, I thought it came from like external pressures, like my bills or my toxic relationship, finding a new job, for example. And although that did play a role, ultimately it was my own choices and habits that would be the main reason I felt like shit all the time. I stay awake late every night doing nothing on my phone because I had to reclaim the time I felt like I lost during the day, leading me to sleep 3 hours every night before work. I could show you my fucking iPhone. I would never give myself time to think and would constantly be looking for cheap dopamine because sitting with myself was either too painful or too boring. And I also hated myself. And the only way I could force myself to do any the only way I could force any effort towards self-improvement was if I was in like working in self-hatred with feelings of like spitefulness, with resentment, or whatever other negative feeling you could think of, rather than actually wanting to appreciate myself. I was and still am getting over my fear of change. I thought I got over my fear of failure, but I think at this moment I'm just very anxious and fearful in general. Um, I kept asking the world what was wrong with me and how do I change when really I should have like been having that conversation with myself. I had to get all that off my chest before I continue with the rest of this video, because now I'm going to get into how exactly I've been learning to love myself, how I've been choosing to face my fears, how I've been like, getting my mind to see the world I want from the inner world to the outer. And I also want to touch on other related things like my personal growth. Fucking hell, fuck. Yeah, I'm keeping that. Like you guys got to see I make mistakes. It is what it is. All right. I also want to touch on other things related to my personal growth, like my perspective of time, universal laws, the fact that I made this channel trying to better everybody else's life except for my own, limerence, and why having purpose is important in life. And the biggest one that keeps us all comfortable, escapism. Every time I look to the left, I'm looking at myself. This might be the longest and realest video I've ever made, so I ask that you only give me 5 minutes of your time. If I'm talking bullshit, leave a dislike. I don't give a fuck. Tell me what I did wrong. No, fuck, I did it again. I leave a dislike, but I want as many people to see this as possible, because I feel like most, if not everybody, can relate to like the feelings I'm feeling, and I can't even monetize my channel yet, so this shit's coming from the heart. So, anyways, these first two topics I'm speaking about have personally affected my lack of growth the most, and I'm gonna start with my self-love journey because there's no way I'm this 6-foot black guy who acts like such a fucking bitch. Right? Like if I tell myself I'm going to the gym today for sure and don't go, then I'm just letting myself down. And if you keep doing that constantly, your own brain doesn't even start to believe you when you say anything, and that's fucking scary. I spend over 12 hours a day easily consuming media, whether it's in my headphones at work, YouTube videos while I eat, movies in the background while I sleep, and I generally didn't want to be alone with my thoughts. And the funniest thing I've discovered about myself is that my inability to move sometimes was a significant factor to my exhaustion. But the inactivity is exactly what made me so exhausted. So it's this stupid fucking like loop. It's a paradox. I carried a lot of baggage from my past, like people cutting me off for what seemed like no reason, having me stuck in this mode where I'm trying to catch the snake that bit me and ask, why'd you do it? I should have seen the signs of fake people around me, but I was afraid of being alone. Like I was so afraid of being alone so bad that I'd rather surround myself with people who didn't like me. One thing I realized is that the avoidance of difficult emotions still requires energy and will lead to increased fatigue instead of relief. Y'all gotta sit with that for a minute. I be scrolling through social media, comparing myself to other people, wondering if I wasted my life, and then go back to trying to find comfort, which is a trap that fosters a routine without any challenges or growth. I only feel like I'm wasting my life because I'm consistently not fulfilling the task I set for myself to accomplish. All of my self-improvement efforts were rooted in self-hatred rather than the genuine desire to appreciate myself. I was setting goals based on negative emotions like self-loathing and jealousy, and that was just a way for me to escape from myself and the real work that had to be done, if I'm being honest. I was so harsh to myself while overly kind to others, and to this day, I shrink myself to look smaller because self-depreciation just seems to be more socially acceptable than self-acceptance. I desperately wanted people to like me, but subconsciously, I didn't think I deserved to be loved. Social interactions always felt like more like a performance where I have to prove my worth, leading to more anxiety, and I would always seek out negative cues to support what I think in my mind. Right? If I'm thinking in my mind, oh, I'm weird, like I'm gonna look for all the people around me that's looking at me like I'm a weirdo. It's like shit, like I definitely thinks I'm weird. Yeah, I'm definitely weird. You know what I mean? It's like, whenever people would tell me that my body looks good, I deflect all their compliments and just maintain an emotional distance, you know? I felt like asking for reassurance was just emotionally draining to people, especially the woman I was dealing with, and it made me develop this fear of abandonment because it wouldn't be too long before, you know, being myself would get me rejected in my head, even though I can't remember a single time being myself scared the hoes. So I guess there was a fear of rejection too. I felt look, I spit. I felt extremely lonely, even when I had 7 girls I could talk to or multiple friend groups, because although physically I was present, mentally I was always stuck in the past, replaying conversations and interactions, looking to scrutinize my own behavior, and I was generally stuck in a loop of paranoia and self-doubt. This is cliche, but like I already said it, fuck it. I had a fear of failure because if I didn't try, then I could forever live in my potential without ever finding out if I'm really like that. You know, I had a fear of change, even good change, because if I started a business tomorrow and made 10K next month, my life won't be the same. And the thought of that is terrifying. You know, my friends used to make fun of me for getting homesick. I'm just weird like that. I don't know. I have no idea why I'm like this, but I'd be afraid to admit that there are some people I outgrew and got tired of screaming at to do better with me, but fuck it. That just goes into the fear of loneliness, and I could literally keep talking about everything I fear, but the one thing that encapsulates all of my fears were an ego death. I feared having an ego death. And I've taken a lot of psychedelics in my life, but I'm not even talking about that. Sometimes you need to drown to remind yourself how much you actually don't want to drown. And what I mean by that is I used to think that I wanted to die until I really took time to discover myself and realized I just wanted better. And better requires me to fix my inner world so that it can reflect onto the outside, which is such an annoying paradox because if my life is shit on the outside, then how am I supposed to be all right in my head? like, what if somebody crashes into my car? You know, I have no control over anything. Anxiety changed my thought process from how can I win to how can I not lose? I imagined worst case scenarios. I became a perfectionist in everything I did. Everything I tried, and if it didn't go exactly my way, then I wasn't happy, and overall it just kept me in my head thinking about everything I can't control. So what can we control then? You can control yourself, and you have to understand what you are. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where the video really starts, because I'm not my name, I'm not my arm, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my emotions. Those things describe me, but who am I actually? You know, I could keep going on about my fears, my friends, my girl, my job, my car, my laptop that doesn't work unless it's plugged into a power source. And I know my thoughts were hella scattered, but I said all that to say that we are our attention and you get to choose what gets amplified. You can't control the world and you can't control intrusive thoughts, but you could train your mind about what you feed it. And that is the single key to changing everything. Fuck, that was my... Whether you're getting over a breakup and want to get over them or manifest them back into your life, whether you want that new car or job or whatever you want in life, it all starts with what we feed ourselves. Easier said than done, obviously, but like especially when you're made up of trauma, habits, culture, relationships, and a nervous system, just to name a few examples. So I'm not saying you can control the world if you could get yourself to believe you can. Even I think the richest people in the world actually think that way, and they definitely control the world because they think they can, so scratch that. But what I am saying is that you can influence your inner world, which will dictate how you move in the outer world. And until you fully integrate your shadow self, or the you that you can't admit is you because of your ego seeing traits you reject in yourself, or fears you bury, desires that you don't want to admit, until you become aware of the real you without judgment, then you are still an NPC, because you don't even realize that every move you make was already programmed into you. If you secretly fear not being respected, for example, then you'll notice when people disrespect you, you know, or when you're being overlooked. But if you never realize that you feared being disrespected and admitted it to yourself, you will stay stuck in these loops where the same situations keep happening until you're finally able to deal with it. And shit, now that we understand the foundation to changing everything, we could build on it. You know, letting go is very powerful and gives the same energy as abundance, while desire could actually set you back, since it gives off the same energy as desire gives off the same energy as scarcity or feelings of lack. You know, most people that desire a Lamborghini only do so because they don't have one and it would be cool, not because they think it's already theirs. So I'm not saying that desire is bad, because it's actually a good starting point, but you'll have to graduate from that initial want to actually grow and get what you want, right? Your emotional attachment to specific outcomes creates a dependency that prevents true happiness, making you oh damn, fucking train, shut the fuck you. Train. Yeah, there was a train that went by. There's got people doing a DJ set downstairs. Yeah, I got my own space now. You know, I know you guys remember me in my room. You know, I'm doing shit. Anyways, your emotional attachment to specific outcomes creates a dependency that prevents true happiness, making you feel perpetually dissatisfied until your goals are met. Your current reality is depicted as a reflective echo of past energy and focus, rather than a solid cause or like the external situations like your girlfriend breaking up with you or your dog dying. So reacting negatively to current conditions only reinforces future issues. Mastery over one's inner world, thoughts, and reactions is highlighted as the true source of power in manifesting desired life outcomes. Not being victimized by your external circumstances. Focusing on visible problems strengthens the cycle of unwanted reality, and ignoring your current reality should not be viewed as passivity, but as a deliberate reallocation of emotional energy away from the past. Emotions fuel the realities we experience, so a focus on lack and fear only perpetuates those very states. You must redirect your focus to build a new internal state, which involves establishing a clear vision of what you want to experience. This will help guide your attention and help create the energy necessary for change. Feelings of abundance and fulfillment associated with that clear vision signal the universe to align your reality with that state. And fuck, no, that's it. Wait, yeah, that's it. So I want to be a successful YouTuber. That's the desire, right? If you look at my channel, I've not been posting. I'm not recording with 100% energy. I didn't say everything like I meant it. So it was super obvious that I didn't think I could be a successful YouTuber. But ask me how I feel right now. Bro, check my analytics for 2024, bro. Bro, I'm really him, bro. Fuck it, bro. I could do this. Like, I don't care how corny it sounds to people when I tell them, yeah, I'm trying to be a YouTuber. Like because I'm already successful. Like, I do this. Like, if I was a successful YouTuber, you wouldn't look at me and be like, oh, this nigga trying to be a YouTuber? Like, fuck you, nigga. But anyways, right, there's no way someone sees this video and hates me. And if they do, that says a lot more about them than it does about me, right? I'm cool as fuck. Like, what other 22-year-olds like wrote a whole script about everything stopping them from doing what they want to do in life? And fuck it, bro. It doesn't even matter, bro. I could do fucking nothing and I'm still cool. That's the cool part about, you know, your own mind, bro. Like, I used to really like convince myself I wasn't cool, bro. I was a fucking loser. What the fuck? I could do 360 dunks, bro. Before I tore my ACL, oh, I can still dunk like regularly. I haven't tried a 360 since I tore my ACL, but how many people could do that? You know, I've made people money in my lifetime, bro. I've done so much shit for people, bro. And I sit here like telling myself I'm a loser for what? Bro, I'm sorry, bro. I took off script for a second because I was reading that, yeah, I'm trying to be a YouTuber part, and I really felt that. Like, I'm really trying to do this, bro. Like, I'm in a studio space now. Like, like nobody can. Oh my god, bro. I really feel my script right now. I'm sorry. All right, but for real though, like, I love to live in this realm of potential, because if I don't try, then I could always say that I could have or should have without the embarrassment of failing, or proving to myself that, you know, I can't actually do what I think I could do, you know? So trust me, like, I know I'm telling you these solutions like I'm some guru, but again, I'm only 22, bro. I'm trying to figure this shit out just like the rest of y'all, man. I'm just finally taking the first steps to get out of my comfort zone, you know? I'm I'm not. I was about to dox myself. I'm from here. I'm in downtown Toronto right now, bro. I'm not from Toronto. Gotta do what we gotta do, bro. I want to be a YouTuber. I needed the space. It's what we do. And one more thing I should mention. Your mind acts as a predictive machine that anticipates experiences. So most people perceive time linearly. No, not literally. Linearly, like in a line, like past, present, future. But in reality, the brain constantly synthesizes past data to predict a probable future, creating this continuous flow of subjective experience. So understanding this, we know that we have to break free from limiting cycles. Y'all must intentionally introduce new narratives for your brains to adapt, right? Enabling a different set of predictions. This is where we could introduce quantum jumping to consciously influence one's predictive model, enhancing the likelihood of desired outcomes. Our brain's predictive model allows us to intuitively sense events before they even happen, indicating a synchronization between internal thoughts and external situations. And the feeling of knowing or intuition arises when the subconscious mind aligns the simulations with real-world events, producing moments that feel like coincidences. So the process of making small shifts in our reality often happen unconsciously, illustrating that our experiences are not fixed, but fluid projections of our internal state. Did I not just say something crazy? Lasting change doesn't come from desiring material objects, but from embodying a new identity. So you must become the person who already possesses the desired attributes. I'm in a studio space, nigga. I'm a fucking YouTuber, bro. Focusing on who you are rather than what you want can help reprogram the subconscious, as well as selecting a future version of yourself that already exists. You can't be Batman, so you'll be depressed when you don't reach that goal. But you could be a professional basketball player. Nobody said the NBA, but you can still thrive overseas, right? It's also important to know, like, no, hang on, I went too fast. Look at J. Cole. Anyways, it's also important to note that your old identities and fears, they may resurface, and you cannot ignore them, because resistance will only make it harder to maintain focus on your new identity. So focus on how it feels to be a professional basketball player. You know, I'm using professional basketball player as an example. Obviously, insert whatever the fuck you want. I could have made an example of being a YouTuber, but this is just what anyways, how does a basketball player sleep? What do they eat? How do they train? Now you must live like that. It might be hard to work out twice a day and eat 5 times a day in the beginning, but I promise you that you'll feel out of place going back to your old habits of escapism even before the physical results show after, you know, keeping it up for a little bit. And obviously, if you can't work out twice a day, then once is plenty. Like, don't let anybody tell you how to manage your life in your timetable, because ultimately you will always know what's best for you, right? Many people don't even realize that their automated emotional scripts were shaped by childhood experiences and societal influences. So awareness of these scripts is the first act of rebellion against your conditioned responses and beliefs. This process will be uncomfortable. I'm pretty uncomfortable, you know, coming here by myself. I'm not gonna lie. This process will be uncomfortable, so have some self-compassion and be mindful about what you tell yourself. I really want to go deeper into exactly how to make these changes, but I think I could just, you know, make paradigm shifts a whole separate video where I just keep going deeper about, you know, how to actually make those shifts. I just wanted to introduce it because, you know, I felt like that was one thing that helped me get over myself. It's the best way to put it. The important takeaways you should remember is that belief cannot be forced, and manifestation works best from intention, not desire. Intention is pressing the elevator button once knowing it's coming. Desire is continuously pressing the button until you see it with your own eyes. You don't have to continuously press that elevator button because you know it's coming. So why the fuck are you so anxious about your dreams, nigga? No, let me look at the camera. Why the fuck are you so anxious about your dreams, nigga? If you know it's coming. You know it's coming, press the button once and wait. You know it's coming, you good. Unless you don't believe it's coming. Now, what I'm about to say is kind of counterintuitive in a way, but You don't have to separate your personal identity from productivity and explore who you are beyond the achievements. You know, if I didn't go to the gym, then I also wouldn't make sure I was drinking enough water in the day or cleaning my room, because I had this all or nothing mindset that was just silly and like, like it was just stupid. There's definitely a direct link between my lifestyle choices and my mental health. You know, I say this to reemphasize the fact that your small daily choices matter, and making your bed in the morning accumulates. And then you hydrate after getting up and you feel even better about yourself. And it sounds cliche, but you know, if you can't run, then walk. You can't walk, then crawl. You can't crawl, then roll around like a fucking hot dog. I said I was gonna talk about universal laws. I don't really feel like it. Things like divine ones and the law of attraction heavily simplify everything that I mentioned in this video, but I wanted to bring them up real quick because I do believe that they are real, and punishments are even harsher than, or sorry, the punishments for these universal laws are even harsher than like fucking murder. It's impossible. It's possible to get away with murder, but you cannot lie about your energy and what you attract. You can't. It's impossible. You can't lie to the universe. You can't. To end this video, I want to share some of the ways that I personally got myself to get started with my life and stop being stuck. And the first way I'm accomplishing this is by telling the internet that I'm going to start being better. You know, imagine you see this video 6 months from now and I still haven't posted that video about quantum jumping, or I haven't posted any of my other ideas. You know, I feel like I would have failed you guys, and this is my way of holding myself accountable, since, you know, I don't know anybody in my personal life who will hold me accountable. That's why I'm so hard on myself all the time. If you do, that's great. That's the best way to grow. You know, just I don't have that. You need to understand that procrastination is often mislabeled as laziness, and most times you're just scared of something. So figure out what you're avoiding and why. You also need to understand that our brains were wired for safety and not achievement, which can lead to inaction. But willpower cannot be your main driving force, as it's temporary. You know, real change occurs through action, and you end up feeling motivated after completing the action. Right? I have playlists on Spotify to get hyped before, or Spotify and YouTube and SoundCloud. Fuck it. Like I listen to everything everywhere, but you know, before doing something like I really don't want to do, you know, before writing the script, I was blasting WWE entrance music and pretending like I was on stage in front of a crowd. You know, I got playlists with video game and anime boss battle music for when I'm feeling like I start feeling that writer's block. You know, you say run, like you won't feel like it all the time, but you could get yourself in the mood if you truly want to accomplish the goal you set for yourself. Like it shouldn't take willpower if you actually want to do it. It didn't take willpower for me to come to downtown to record this video, even though I only slept 3 hours and then worked 10, and then didn't get no time to I wanted to make this video, so I'm here making this video. You know, I guess the willpower came from not falling asleep when I came home. But if you find yourself like needing a lot of willpower constantly to do the things you need to do, you just need to reevaluate on what you actually want. You know, like we could talk about the gym, for example. Like it definitely takes me like willpower. Like I can flash my body on the screen. Like, you know, I tell you earlier, I get compliments from my body, but even like I started working out at first because I wanted respect, I wanted attention, I wanted, like, it was all just like stupid reasons. I was like a kid, whatever. And after I got that, it was like, okay, so what's like, why should I continue working out? And I realized I should do it for myself. Like I feel good. Like my mental health is better. Just setting a routine is always good. I'm talking about everything except physically. Even physically, bro, I want to be a fucking monster. Like I want to be 200 pounds. I'm not 200 pounds fat, like 200 pounds like this, but like, you know what I mean? But I guess I don't want to be 200 pounds that bad, since it still takes willpower for me to get to the gym. You know what I mean? And that's why I had to like really think about why I'm going. And why I'm going is because I don't feel good. Like it makes me feel like tremendous mentally when I do go. And you know, I had to go to the gym before making this video, honestly. One of my bad habits where I smoke before everything. And I put grub in a bong. I'm fucking like terrible, bro. I had to smoke before everything I did. I guess today I want to switch it up and I want to work out before I did this. I threw out my bong last week, but yeah, that's just my own personal testimony. Because I had this question in my mind, like, is willpower the only way to get yourself through hard things? And some people told me, yeah, just think about the consequences of not doing what you're supposed to do and how that life looks out. Like, for example, if I don't work out, you'll be scrawny. Do work out, not. That's a basic example. Let's use a bigger one, like this YouTube shit. If I don't make a YouTube video, what are the consequences? I guess nothing today, nothing tomorrow, but I work at a car dealership. If I'm cleaning cars all day, thinking, man, this is not what I want to do with my life. I want to make YouTube videos. See what I mean? So that's just, yeah, I think that's just how I wanted to end this. Sometimes before doing something, I'll count to 5, and then I just have to go. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, do it. You got to remember to take small steps because you have to keep moving. You got to get used to being uncomfortable because everything you want will require some resistance, and the confidence, clarity, and readiness that you seek are earned through experience. Right? They're not a prerequisite for action. Let me say that again. The confidence, clarity, and readiness that you seek are earned through experience, not a prerequisite for action. So I challenge you, the viewer, now. I've made myself vulnerable making this video, so what are you going to do to change your life? Or will you just click on the next self-help video? Maybe you could just go back to your old ways. Maybe you could rewatch my video with a notebook and pen and say, I'm not that important. I was literally supposed to record this video in like February. It's fucking May now. Like, that's how long I've been writing the script, and that's how long I've been living life. Even longer than the last couple months. Really, it's been years, but yeah, that's everything that stopped me from doing what I want to do, and that's how I plan to not let it stop me anymore. This was a good video. I feel good about this one. Just to double down on my whole philosophy, I'm not gonna ask for likes or for you to subscribe. Why would I beg you to do that when in my mind I already made it? You gonna subscribe and like the video anyways, niggas. Yeah. But for real though, comment. I like seeing comments. I respond to comments. I was pretty vulnerable this video, so if you learned something, let me know, man. Let me know how it made you feel. Yeah.